Good to have your company, Pisces. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au. If you're new, welcome. Hopefully I can throw some light on what's happening in your life with the aspects of the planets. And this month, definitely some very important ones that are going to have a marked influence on your income, your finances, friendships, social activities, so on and so forth. And that, particularly because of the exact conjunction of Mars and Saturn in your 11th house. The very frustrating combination, this combination, depending on how you use it. Frustrating if you're more of an emotional type, which you are, and especially in the realm of your social activities, because this Mars and Saturn Pluto combination takes place in the 11th house, which is your social connections, networking, that sort of thing. We see there's a right angle, what we call a square, to a retrograde Mercury now. Mercury and the Sun and Uranus in the second house. It's interesting because for you, the 11th house is the house of profits as well as socializing. And the second house is income. Interesting. 3 planets in the 11th house, 3 planets in your second house, and all in that state of tension right now. It could be, for example, especially with the retrograde Mercury, where you're not thinking altogether straight, that you are mixing your business with pleasure. You are somehow involving your friendships in the work or monetary side of your life, or you're getting involved in theirs. And that shows me that that's not going to end well. Even if it's simply advising friends about money, there could be some essential or philosophical difference in your approaches. And because of this combination of planets and the geometric shape in the heavens, that tension can actually cause a lot of problems for you. So, as I've said to the other star signs this month, Pisces, it's best to wait until, number one, Mercury moves into its forward motion. Number 2, and that takes place on the 15th of the month. A more immediate one is on the 3rd of April, when Mars passes away from Saturn. It's still not going to completely alleviate the trouble because it has yet to make contact with Pluto in that same area, and that takes place on the 26th. So this is really something that's going to maybe scratch away at your heart up until that time. But at least after the 15th, number 1, Mercury goes direct. Number 2, on the 16th, you have a new moon taking place in this second house, which is a fresh new approach and insight, I would say, into the monetary side of things. Number 1, you're able to earn better at that time. You're clear on what you need to do to earn it. And furthermore, you're not going to be offensive or mistaken in the way you communicate monetary facts and figures to your friends. That's the second thing. The other third thing that we see here is that you've got this full moon that starts the month off. So right now you're under the influence of that 8th house full moon, which has to do with shared money, shared resources. God forbid, because there's a right angle there to Pluto. So it could be that friends are putting the heavy word on you for a bit of money, or they need your resources. And what's your most valuable resource? It's not even money, it's time. So you may be at loggerheads with people in terms of feeling obligated to give them something of value. It may not be money, it may be time, it may be advice, it just may be emotional energy. And that sense of obligation doesn't sit well with you because you just don't want to do it. So maybe it's better just to be straight out honest with them and say, look, no, don't have the time to do that. At least they'll know where you stand. I like the placement of Venus in the 3rd house for you this month. The month starts off with that. So although you have the ability to communicate well, I'm going to keep reiterating, wait till the 15th. The 3rd house Venus is nice for more local sorts of travels, journeys, just exploring your environment, whereas maybe before you hadn't quite figured out what. There may be some discoveries you'll make, restaurants, little cafes, places of interest in the local area. You don't really need to look too far afield to be enamoured by what you've got there and to discover some sweet little spots that will really resonate well with your heart. This is also great for communicating. So up until the 25th, after the 15th, you've got that window of opportunity to really sweeten your conversation, sweeten what you've got to say to people, even if it's a critical remark. It's all in the packaging, as I say. Towards the end of the month as well, as Venus moves out of this third house, it moves into your domestic sphere on the 25th. So big shift away from all these other social and financial concerns into a more stable, satisfying home life. But just before that, we see the opposing and sometimes wasteful opposition from Venus to Jupiter. Things may start off well after the 15th. I'm thinking 15th, 16th, 17th. It's after the 17th. So I told you the 16th. I would wait till the 17th or 18th till Venus has moved away from that opposition to Jupiter. Then on the 25th, it's going to move into that lovely fourth house area. It gets directional strength, by the way, folks. So a Venus moving in the fourth house is very nice for a northerly movement. Those of you that are thinking of purchasing property or taking some time out, moving north is quite nice. It's an air sign, Gemini, so this usually shows us open spaces with lots of people, but also maybe somewhat high in altitude. That will be good for you, and it gives you the opportunity to maybe collect your thoughts a little bit more, even if Mercury has gone retrograde. Solidify your position with your friends. As I said to Aquarius in my reading for this month, you can never go wrong asking questions, and I think that's the way you need to deal with your friends, your employers, co-workers, and family members as well this month. I hope that helps, and I hope you'll join me again next month. In the meantime, pop over to astrology.com.au and you can find out a little bit more about what's going on in your neck of the universe. Look forward to your company again next month. Bye-bye.